wait a minute, no, okay, yeah, item 51B.
51C.
No, 51C, we want to go, that's the presentation, we want to do the presentation.
Is
for
that the
Mr. Haddad.
51C?
Yes.
Okay.
51,
No.
okay, so that's a good one. No, that's for 51C, is a discussion of adding video gaming and increasing the license for our local vendor, Mr. Haddad.
Oh, okay. Okay, he's here.
That's D.
That's
Okay,
51D.
C is the license, okay.
Let's see, 51F.
Okay. No, we're gonna do.
Oh,
we're
Chris
gonna
is
do
here.
That financial is important. We're gonna, is it 51H?
Yes, 51H.
Okay. And boom. Wait, hold on.
Oh. So you're saying 51A that you want to keep? That's what you're saying, trustee?
Yes.
No, trustee,
No,
trustee
Ms. Moore,
Lewis,
Cliff Taylor
please.
is here. 51A.
51A. So
No, 51A, Fulton.
51A, you want to have the presentation.
Yes, that's Cliff Taylor.
51B, what is this? Is that one of the ones?
That's when we'd rather have the clerk here.
Trustee Lewis.
Yeah, the clerk is not here for that.
I'm
51B
the liquor commissioner, so I'm always gonna say something about that.
table.
Not for the five, okay. And you're saying 51C?
51C is Mr. Haddad.
Is to have the discussion?
Yeah.
What about 51D?
51D, let's go with this one, 80814. No, then 51H.
You're saying to table 51D?
Yes.
That's what you're asking. What about 51E?
The
Presentation.
presentation, they're here.
51F?
That's you,
That's-
that's Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
51G?
Table for executive session
Right.
for, at the upcoming at the board, regular board meeting,
51H?
and table that.
What? To-
Table. Right.
Okay.
You just want to do,
I would like to keep the 51H in. I don't know where the information is at, but I think you were saying that the reason to table is because we didn't have the documents, which we have not, and then we were given the courtesy to those that are in attendance to do a presentation, to still do their presentation. But I was stating that we also have other people in the audience that are wanting to discuss something which is 51H, so we
Okay.
should discuss that one as well.
okay. That's fine. That's fine.
So there's a motion, that's second.
I could second.
All right, roll call, Madam Clerk. And these items are to be tabled.
Trustee Lewis.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden. Votes aye. Trustee Fulcher.
Vote aye.
Trustee Thompson. Votes aye. Trustee Williams. Votes aye. Trustee Brooks. Votes aye. Mayor Rudez.
I have votes aye.
Okay, so these items will be tabled until the next meeting.
Okay, so are there any questions regarding any items on the remaining parts of the agenda from the general public? If not, we'll go on with our possession, then we'll go back to open up our general public comments after the couple of presentations. The way we're doing now is the first comments are regarding anything on the agenda, and the last will be the general public comments. Okey-doke. So, Mr. 51A would be a discussion of resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement for the renewal of property and casualty insurance between the Village of University Park and Insure Source Insurance, LLC. Mr. Taylor will be doing the presentation. Mr. Taylor, good evening, sir. Brooks? Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Trustees, other distinguished guests, valued residents of University Park. We're coming along again this year for our renewal for the village's general liability and workers' comp insurance program. The renewal is every year, December 16th. So we're just coming in. I gave the presentations to Ms. Scott. I think she distributed to everyone in terms of the renewal and what we're looking at. Again, we're on another very volatile year. It's been a hard market in this insurance arena since COVID, where we're seeing double-digit increases everywhere. We're seeing a lot of volatility due to litigation, natural disasters, all of those things that I did talk about in the general marketing summary. In saying that, we've been seeing on average renewals going anywhere from 20 to 25%. That's a trend. We're happy to recommend that we're coming in at a 13% renewal, which is well below where trend is right now. So that shows we are doing some good things with the village. A lot of things we're doing is starting to work. We will continue to work on those things. We did change a workers' comp carrier last year, and that deemed very successful. They're a very good program. They provide a lot of risk management for the various departments. So we are moving in the right direction. So basically, the renewal overall is at a 13%. We went out to the marketplace like we always do. We go to all the markets that we're entertained. In this market, you have carriers that have come in and come out of the market every year. And we've been seeing more and more come out of the Chicagoland area just due to high litigation costs. So that hurts us from a negotiating standpoint because you have less carriers to go to try to negotiate better pricing. But you have a carrier with your primary coverage in Princeton, who is a very good carrier. They are A++. They have a little bit more stability, and that worked out for the village this year. So overall, 13% we feel is a very good renewal, one of the best ones I've had this year. And we do recommend with no changes in coverage either. Your limits remain the same, your SIRs remain the same. So with that being said, are there any questions?
And Mr. Taylor, for the record, for the public, this is the company that insures our property, correct?
Yes. So we have various carriers. So for your property, hold on one second here. So you have Star Companies is your property carrier. That's a different carrier from Princeton. So Star does your property. They've been on it for the last few years. They remain to be on it. So there hasn't been really any major changes in carriers. We did take away one carrier, which was a small portion. It was your inland marine. We put that with the property to get better price and saved about $1,500. And inland marine is basically your special equipment that there's usually a separate policy for. We were able to include that in with your property. So, and that did save a little bit.
Okay. I'm comfortable with Mr. Taylor. I'll ask the board, do you have any questions or anything?
No, ma'am. Hello? Oh, hello? Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta talk louder. I don't feel like talking loud today, but I guess I got to. All right. First of all,
How you doing, sir?
what is it, 8 years now, Cliff?
If not longer, yeah.
Yeah. So, I just want to give my, oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you, behind the scenes. I just want to say that from a perspective of someone who sat up here, that I think I said it last year, and it probably would be on the same comments of those, that I would like to thank Cliff for everything that he has done, because, again, in 2017, I would have to say the village had to hit a good pause. I would like to thank every board. You were under, especially this administration, Miss Ernestine Beck-Fookums as the village manager, Miss Scott. I sit here and I'm looking at the numbers. It seems like even with COVID and everything, Cliff, you have done a good job.
Thank you.
Just one question on the auto. I think that might have been one of the key things I was asking. What is your opinion? Because I think we had, or the benefit I think you had implemented, and plus I think we got HR involved with the sexual harassment training. I think was that part of it?
Either sexual harassment or the
Or
sexual abuse. I know we need
something-
to add, last year we need to add a sexual abuse policy, which we did work. I worked with Ms. Scott in getting that done and getting that put in place.
Yeah, so I guess the question, just out of transparency, to show the public how the board is being responsible and how we are moving forward. If you could just give a quick opinion of the betterment of us implementing those things, and, you know, of course, naturally, like you explained the price, but of how premiums, you know, go up, but how University Park has improved, if you can, since 2017 with all the things that we have done and implemented and the work you have done.
Okay, I'll try to do that and keep that as short as possible.
Right.
When we did come in and took over the insurance for the village, the prior broker had a lot of things put in place that really, it showed that they didn't understand the structure of your program. One of the glaring things I could put out there is you had two primary coverages. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for two primary, they bump heads. It
Right.
wasn't what you call follow form, where you have primary, then you have your excess, your next layer, your next layer. They both were one. Mm-hmm. And that was, you were paying double the money for what? We had no workers' compensation at the time.
Right.
Which again is a
We
state
didn't.
law, right?
Yeah.
So what we were able to do at that time, we were able to put a cash program in place, basically just to keep you compliant.
Right.
Now we were able to, as of last year, to get an actual full-fledged, even though it's a deductible plan, it's an actual full-fledged insurance with one of the best workers' comp carriers in the state. What happens over the years as litigation, lawsuits, we're seeing these big lawsuits that are being handed out against municipalities, and, you know, I deal with a number of municipalities in the south suburbs, and honestly, I don't know how some of these municipalities will be able to continue when you're getting hit with double-digit lawsuits.
Right.
Premiums going up, and we're talking towns, 8,000-9,000 in population. How can you afford to keep these premiums going up?
Right.
So what we do every year is we try to go out there to every market that are entertained to make sure we're getting the best pricing that we can get. And in that, they're getting more strict in their rules and what they want and what they're looking for. So like last year, there's like, hey, we don't see a sexual abuse policy. Is there one in place? Oh, we see this one, we don't like it. We need you to enhance it and update it a little bit. We did that. Mm-hmm. With the workers' comp, you're going to see some more things coming in from a training standpoint where we want to make sure, one of the things I'm going to be working with Ms. Scott is putting together a safety committee.
Right.
And that's going to be where we're going to put together a whole safety manual that the employees will have some guidelines to go by.
Okay.
So it's a lot of those things that you know, that we'll be doing. That'll be an ongoing process, of course, and there can always be enhancements and changes. But those are some of the things we've been doing over the years, and then we will continue to do as your representative.
Okay. And I just want to say, Cliff, as Janelle, I think, this was back when we were in COVID. We praised how, I think even then when Janelle first got on, and we were talking how well, even then the policies as we got better. And I just kind of wanted to be transparent how you really have been trying to help us. And we done got better. We got new squad cars. We done came a long way. And so I just want to emphasize that, because everything, when you met me, my hair was much more blacker. I let the beard grow out, trying to catch up with the mayor. It's turning white. But I would like to thank you, because since we first came on the scene, we were in bad shape. And I'm not even going to lie on this one. One day I was in there to speak with Ms. Scott, and Ms. Scott says, yeah, trustee, so yeah, we got the workers' comp, blah, blah. And I said, it had to hit me, because remember, at first when you came in, we didn't have it. So then when she said it, it kind of hit me how we have gotten better. And that's what I want the residents to know, is that we gotten better. Look, I'll tell you like I tell everyone, and I'm going to yield. When I'm at church, I tell them, there's nothing perfect in this world but Christ. So thank you for trying to get us in that right direction, that we're perfect.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. And if I could add too, like you said, with the village getting new vehicles and doing a lot of new stuff, it just shows how the village is moving forward in a progressive way. But the good thing about it, you're doing good, but now you have newer vehicles. That mean they cost more, right? They're valued more.
Right.
Insurance companies, their values increase. That mean premiums increase a little bit. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but it does go to the work that you're doing.
Right. Again, thank you, Cliff, and Mr. Mayor, I yield my time.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to say something.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Which one? Let me see. All right. Trustee Lewis. Williams. Trustee Williams.
Okay, I too want to thank Cliff Taylor for all he's done. I can remember there was a time when we didn't have any coverage.
Self-insured.
And I think it was Manager Townsend was able to get us some type of supplement or something. You really came through. You've continued to come through. And my thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I like the fact that you're only giving us 13% and others are getting 25%. So that's good news. So I thank you for considering us and all the things you've done for us.
Thank you. And that goes to show what the village is doing as well. You know,
Yeah,
get 13%,
that's true.
that means you guys are doing something good because trend is
Good.
literally right now at 20%.
Trustee McFadden.
Hello, Cliff. I just
Hey,
wanted
Trustee.
to praise you and thank you for everything that you have done since I've been here for the last 3 years. Like Theo said, when COVID came and we were going through a lot, you were there to help us along the way. So thank you, and thanks for that 13%.
Thank you. I wish all these renewals could be like this with the rest of my clients. I really do.
Hey, man, it gets greater later. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me also, I did in the presentation, I do want to make a point how important Cliff and his sister is. And one of the things we do have up here is board, it has invested in the community. Let me say this. Him and his sister has invested in the south suburbs. His mother, unfortunately passed away when I was in Harvey. Her name is Gloria Taylor. That's a woman you can be proud of, one of the first black female aldermen really breaking barriers, city of Harvey. And there's a building named after her. And they have a foundation after her. So you're looking at a gentleman, when I was there, Cliff was more quiet. But I would say his work goes a long way. And so I just kind of want everyone to understand that before us, not only we have someone who's given us good insurance, but he does invest in the community. So that includes Creek Monique, Rich Township, Thornton Fractional, you name it, they are everywhere. And I just wanted to put that out there that he's just more than someone's bringing insurance to us. He's also, and his sister is also invested in our community with our kids.
Yes, yes.
So I yield my time on that.
Thank you, sir.
Say as well, Cliff and his sister, they gave my son a scholarship from Crete-Monique High School last year. So I thank them for that. They are very involved with our kids. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
So, back to the business at hand. So I do suspect, and I'm going to ask the board, is it our pleasure to move this forward for action on our next meeting to move forward with the agenda? All right. You got that,
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk? All right. Okay, let's see.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Mr.
for allowing me
Taylor.
to continue to serve this
Hey,
great
man,
village.
listen.
Thank you.
We look forward for continued growth and success with your company.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Now you can, okay, let me see. Fine, want to see. Okay. What are we going to? Mr. Mike Haddad, 51D, is it? Ordinance C? A discussion ordinance about video gaming. D. That's D, though. That's D. So let me just give a brief scenario. Mr. Haddad owns Parkway Liquor Stores. He's been in our community 15 years. His business is doing well, and now he's looking to expand and build on the property that he has in the community. So he would like to add additional video gaming, which will bring revenue to us as well. So unfortunately, the clerk isn't here. She knows the process regarding the licenses. But Mr. Haddad, you can just give the board a scenario on what you propose.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Again, as the mayor said, I'm Mike Haddad from Parkway's Food and Liquor. We have been in the community 15 years. We do have a Class C liquor license, and I know in order to add the video gaming, I think they reclassify it to a G, I think Claudia was telling me. And on the property, we already had made space for it. We moved fixtures, and we got a drawing, we sent it to Claudia. The mayor stopped by, looked at the space, and we're hoping to be able to add the video gaming, increase revenue for the business, hopefully generate revenue for the village also.
Oh, yeah, we got a good percentage, yeah. Does anyone have any questions about Mr. Haddad?
No questions, Mr. Mayor, outside the comment of, I never have a problem with a business that especially want to do what he wants to do, and unfortunately, the clerk is not here, so we can move this forward to the next agenda, but I have no problems with someone trying to,
Move forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, I can't remember the exact numbers, but the operator gets a certain amount of dollars, the state gets a certain amount of dollars, but the village gets the majority of the revenue. So it's a good thing for us, and he runs a clean establishment. Things have been working better on University Parkway. So Brooks, you say it's good to move? Thompson? Williams? Lewis? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Didn't
Mayor.
mean to take up so much of your time.
Thank you very much, thank you. Thank
Have a
you,
great
everyone.
day. Thank you.
You too, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, which one? Keep me. Okay, 51E.
Yes.
This is discussion, this is sleek design, and this is gonna be a series of workshops with a variety of different vendors. And these are gonna, what the public is gonna see are proposals for a new multi-purpose facility / village hall. These are one of the presenters, and when we start reconvening in January, we'll start getting more and more involved, but this is now just the beginning of it, of a process, and I'd really like to have public engagement, input, and everything as we move forward. So the floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Awesome.
Do you need the lights dimmed or anything, or is that good? Can everyone see that?
How's the visibility?
We need a little adjustment. Click.
And thank you for getting this set up so quickly. Okay, is that better? So thank you very much for having us here. Can you hear me now? All right, my name's Allison Newmeyer, and this is Jose Garcia. We're here from Seek Architects in Chicago. We've been working with University Park a little bit on various ventures and projects. And so we were excited to get our ideas thinking about what this project could be. So we want to present to you just a kind of quick conceptual study of something we put together thinking about some of the ideas that the mayor brought to us and how that might kind of manifest itself through the architecture. Your current location is lovely, but it's maybe not in a place that was built for something to have civic pride, right? Like we're kind of tucked away in a corner right now, and I think kind of utilizing the main thoroughfare of University Park, right? Like you could have a new center in a building that has prominence, that gives University Park an identity. It could have the chance to bring a community and the government together to kind of like build relationships and trust.
So does everybody know where that site is?
Across the street.
It's across the street. And so it's also at a place where there could be a grouping, even like a kind of like reaching and joining of the other municipal buildings that are there right now. So right now in this drawing, we're showing the kind of like green square rectangle, but I think it really is kind of, should be thought of as a kind of gradient outward to kind of grow. So right now, this is again, the first pass of what we've been looking at, and I think there are guesses of how big each thing needs to be, but I think that it's a good starting point to start to push and pull against. So the program is pretty broad, but I think it's all about joining elements of the community together. So there's the village hall that would have a pretty substantial footprint of the building. There's places for recreation, so gymnasium, soccer fields, maybe basketball courts. These could be both inside and outside, right? Like, so there could be green space around and in the building. There would also be places for community rooms and smaller zones where people or maybe when I say it, will you point to what I'm talking about? Maybe with your finger, like in person. Like physically. Okay. Move the screen there. You can move the screen back, I guess, but then it's further away. Oh, but this can travel, right? Sorry about this. Okay. She said we needed the mic. It's a little blurry. Oh, it's getting there. That's good.
All right, does that look better to everyone? All right, so just continuing on what Allison was saying, right, big picture, currently the program is broken down into two big components. We have the Village Hall component and then the Community Recreation Center component, right? Village Hall is for obviously the administrative uses of the village, whereas the Community Recreation Center, that includes some of the other activities like the gymnasium, the community rooms, either an indoor or an outdoor soccer field / football field, right? Fitness area with locker rooms and all the supporting activities, and as well as, various shared spaces for the community. And as the mayor was saying, right, this is kind of like the first initial workshop, right? And we will be able to adjust these and continue the conversation on what makes the most sense, right? And what can make the most sense within the site. Anything you want to add? Yeah.
So one of the things that I know that I felt as was important to the residents, community rooms. The only place right now that we have to live at go back to the library. So the residents will have the opportunity, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 community rooms at 6,000 square feet, 6,000 square per room, right?
Right.
The residents will have the opportunity to say, what do we want? 3 community rooms, 2 community rooms, maybe 2 that's 12,000 or 3 that's that. But the whole thing is to start this conversation, but the need is definitely there. Birthday parties, weddings, community groups, organizations,
Correct.
whatever. The need there, it is there. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, just these. So, and the programming conversation, that's one thing, right? And once we get to the point where, we have okay, this is the program, this is the spaces, this is the size of what we're looking for, then is the vision, right? Where do we go from there? And just starting to, think outside the box and think out there in terms of what this place can be, and what this new community center can be, right? So these are just a couple of examples, a couple images that start to hint at that, right? A building that, can have a common courtyard center, right? And then a unifying roof structure that sort of, blends all of these areas together. If you go to the next one, once you're within that space, what can the interior of this space feel like? You have these spaces that we're creating, and what are the different functions within that space that can then start to inform, how we utilize the space and how it's broken down. And these are examples of multi-height spaces that, in one of them it's there's a running track running through the space. Double height spaces, an area where you have the court and then you have observation decks above in the second floor to look down, and areas for basketball courts where multiple activities can happen. So this is just the starting point, right? Just to get some ideas going, and
You know what, see, people know that's a figure 8 walking track. Sometimes when you're walking into some of the health centers, it's just a circle. You know, it counts them out, but it's kind of boring. If I'm not mistaken, this figure 8 track can kind of encompass the whole facility, so it won't be just a boring big ring around,
Correct.
continuous circle.
correct. And then you go to the next slide, Allison. Yeah. So having said all that, right, when we look at the existing conditions, the building where we're at now, it's over here, right, the fire station and the police department. We have Parkway, University Parkway along here, and then there's a big presence here, right, and we have the residential tower up here. So that's the site that we're working with. We know that back here is nature, right, there's a lot of nature, a lot of trees, a lot of green space. This is the area where the different municipal buildings can then start to form this sort of front and this sort of community area here, and then the street presence, right? And then what that experience could be along here, to then invite the community, invite the people of the community, and just be a place of gathering, right? Overall. So if you go to the next slide, Allison. So this is the program. This is the program volumes, the spaces that we were looking at in the earlier slides. This is what it starts to look like when we lay it out in the current site that we have. When you take the idea of this area of gathering, right, and in these different programmatic spaces, there's this natural connection between all of these spaces. So here our initial thoughts is what if you were to have the different programmatic elements? In this case, this is the village hall, and these are the basketball courts, and then these are the community rooms, and then a common space in between that is a place for gathering and kind of connects all these things together, right? Connects outdoor activities with entry plaza, a common courtyard space, and all these different spaces, right? And what happens when, if you go to the next one, when all of these things become part of the same roof and all within the same roof structure, right? It becomes a place of multiple activities that is a single element, a single building that brings all these things together, right? And obviously, this is things that can shift around, right? Obviously, per the programmatic needs. Basically, this is set up to a point where, we can definitely start then massaging this and where things go. Are things too big? Are things too small? It's definitely the starting point for the conversation, right? Same thing with the parking. How many parking spaces we think we can have? Is there any water management things that we need to account for? Any water retention ponds on site, right? There's plenty of space for all of that. There's plenty of space for a soccer field / football field. And plenty of space for, addressing the community, right? And having an entry plaza and potentially a sculpture garden. I know that was part of the conversation at some point. So how all of that can start to come together in a vision, right? So this is currently where we are. This is where we were 2 years and a half ago. And, we're really looking forward to kick this off and keep going with the conversations and hopefully get to more images like this and more realistic images that take these ideas, we put them together as a team, and we start to create this vision, something that really speaks to what the village needs. Anything to add? For now, yes. I am happy to answer any questions as well.
Right.
One of the main reasons why our residents go to St. James Wellness Center is exactly why a lot of people that go to wellness center is because of that. Our seniors, none of you know the water, go swim lessons up there. That would be my suggestion. It's up to you, the people in this community, to make that final decision. But I would encourage that, Steve. I definitely would.
Definitely need a swimming pool.
I have a statement question. Thank you for the presentation, but I'm confused on the idea as in, this is something that would be great if we had a Parks and Recs department. But you just voted on, majority board just voted on a park district. This conversation, this whole presentation slashed the village hall section. Yes, this village can do a new village hall, but a community center with a football stadium and swim pool, that should be a discussion that the park district has. If that just passed, that is not the village's responsibility now as in doing it. This is what we asked for, is a community center, and to have it within the village, a Parks and Recs department. But now we have a park district that was voted on. That is something that they should be having a discussion with as community center rooms, swimming pools, football fields. That should fall under them, not the village. We got a levy for $800,000 for the first tax levy year. So with that first year, even though they won't have money, but the first year, next year, the year after that, all of that should fall under the park district, which is a whole new separate taxing body, it would be a whole new board. So this conversation was great before we had a park district, but now since we have a park district that was voted on, that should be a discussion, a presentation for them, / the village hall.
I truly receive your comments, trustee, but in reality, in the business world, public-private partnerships, municipalities working together for the betterment of the community, where there's a will, there's a way. So there's a way that things can work out. But you know, we gotta get out this. Let me just tell y'all this. We must get out. We must get out the
That's exactly.
people mentality. And when I say cave people mentality, I mean citizens against virtually everything. We got to eliminate that. So we have to have increased vision in order to get some of the things. There's multiple ways that this thing can work for this community. But don't say because of your anger, because it didn't feel like you.
No, it's no anger. I just remember, hold on, Mayor,
No, I'm talking not just.
because
But I would really encourage you to say, well, let's look at it, let's not be so divisive and be so anti, let's say, maybe let's find a way, maybe there is a mechanism that things can work out. Don't be so anti, and be open-minded, because the worst thing in the world, Ms. Miller, please don't, we've been very cordial and had a good conversation, so when one person talks, one person can't hear.
well, I still have a response. Right, but value my opinion is accepting my opinion. That I said what I said. I allowed you've been the whole presentation. No, okay, old man. You the one pretty much did the presentation for the people, okay? So you did the presentation, you chimed in and gave all your synopsis and all the things that what it can be. Now I made my statement, and then now you want to give a response back as I'm being divisive. Absolutely not. I'm just telling everybody here, because if you all remember, the mayor said that we could not have any of this community center. Didn't he that's what he said for the park? If you don't vote for the park district, then you can't have no community center, we can't do nothing. But now it's saying that we can do it. My thing is, now that the park district, which I respect everybody's vote, it passed. The goal is for it to succeed, but that is not the village's responsibility now. That is now on the responsibility of the Park District and the board, and we have to make that clear.
Ms. Mary, thank you. Ms. Mary?
If you don't plan, you will not go anywhere. But one key issue here, now that you've let the cat out, you cannot carry on the government and the state of government that we have without without involving this extra taxing body that you have divvied into. Now, to quote some of your previous excerpts, you said, oh, the village has no business being in running this and running that, the park districts and whatever. But you are putting the cart before the horse. You need a little bit more planning here. And I am a student and a believer in public-private partnerships.
Miss Mary, I got a question for you then.
Don't stop me.
All right, come on. I just want to hold my thought. I just want to ask you to help me as we move forward with this progress, because I done forgot what I said. I'm sorry, not to interrupt you. But
Well,
I got that short-term
I'm
memory
sorry about your memory. Mine is intact.
Mine's not. All right.
But we have an entity here that you have forgotten to endeavor. If you have not exhibited to your peers here. And that, when you say public-private partnership, learn what that really means. We have an asset here. It's called Governor State University. They have how many teams and whatever over there in one gym. There is no place. Steve and I are swimmers. And there isn't any place in the southern suburbs where you can go and learn how to swim and swim well. That's just one issue. That's one issue. But you're putting a cart before the horse. You do not, in this area, have enough rooftops. And it's okay to plan. And that's good, because you've got to have the planning here. But you stepped out a little bit on this. It's just like going to a ball and forgetting to put your tuxedo on, okay? Because you're so enhanced with having it that you forget to put it on. You have something to sell. And when you are small, I'm a small person. I cannot wear the dress of someone larger than me. So you go out and you get somebody to help you with this. You have a need in this area. Governor State has a need. These are all tax dollars. You are wasting your energy and these tax dollars by trying to go things by yourself rather than involving the other areas around you. We cannot do this alone without gathering in. Now, a few years ago, we were not landlocked. But you got to have some serious planning. When is the last time you've looked at any kind of, I asked a couple of trustees, have you ever seen any of the planning tools here? They don't know anything about this. I would never endeavor, I ask you too, to do something like this without including that university. We are one of the communities that are not landlocked. And I'm not saying this because I'm an alumni of Governor State. I'm not saying this because I'm a retiree of Governor State. But I'm saying it because it makes sense. And I'm saying it because I was a part of Kadar and Harris. I was not a part, but I'm a product of that. The 850 Exchange Building, I was in it almost every Saturday, volunteering my time with that. You're putting a cart before the horse. How many residents do we have? What, we got about 7,500 people counting cats and dogs here? Now, a healthy park and recreation department would have been great before you go into a district. But you've done it. I believe in democracy. And the way that you did it, I don't want you to fall on your face. But you're a little bit far for that. Rantoul, Illinois. Did you ever look at that one?
Champaign, Rantoul, I looked at a lot of them. Yes,
No, Rantoul, not
Not
Champagne.
specifically
Just
that
look at Champagne. Yeah, I'm just talking, you listen. Romeoville, that's a perfect example. Romeoville and Rantoul. Now, when I saw them put up that Holiday Inn down in Rantoul, why are they putting this Holiday Inn down here? Nowhere. But any kind of ball, any kind of anything can be played in Rantoul. There's all kind of industry have suddenly popped up. I don't know, I'm not thinking about this. I know this. I use these facilities. Romeoville has an excellent facility out there. You need to go back and change this around. You got the cart before the horse. We need more rooftops. I utilize Matheson. I utilize Governor State, depending on what it is I need them for in the time of the day. Many people think these things too, but do these things, actually do these things. Do you really think you at the stage where we can do this? You don't plan a community on a rental environment. What percent of this village is rental? And what percent of this village is ownership? Real, serious ownership.
78%.
Look at just look at what you have here. We have more industry than we have people. And where are you at 5:30 in the morning trying to get on University Parkway? They're coming from Indiana, they're coming from every place over there, but they are going to your industrial park. They're not staying here, but you've got to have something to make them stay. And there are some other things that you need to study. And these good people here, that I like your project, I like what's going on here, but don't move too fast.
Okay.
And now, I saw the library start in a house. I saw the library gradually move up. I utilized the library. I even utilized this room for a lot of things that are going on here. But you can't put the cart before the horse and ask the taxpayers to pick up the bill. But this is part of your planning. I understand that. This is not part of your implementation. Okay, so I don't want to use like everybody's time. Let me let it go.
Okay. Thank
But as a taxpayer over 50 years here, I know you're
gotta go. I gotta go too.
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm just gonna call you, Mayor.
I've been going since 5:30 this morning. I spent most of the day in Chicago. Okay?
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I'll take a lot of that in consideration, and I'll pick up the phone and call you up. I want to have a conversation further with you. Thank you so much. Valuable information you've given me. Trustee
welcome.
Thompson?
So it's okay to plan for, I'm speaking to the mayor since he gave the presentation. It's okay to plan for the future. That is beautiful. Can you hear me now? Okay. I said, I'm speaking to the mayor since he's the one who really gave the presentation. It's okay to plan for the future, but is it really feasible for our community to have a community center that's big? It's not that many people here. And then how much will it cost? At the library, we built one room. It was $1 million for one room.
Oh, my.
$1 million.
Really?
And that room is the capacity of 100 people. $1 million. Don't interrupt me.
I'm not going to interrupt you.
So have you done a feasibility study, since you're the only one, I guess, who was looking at the plan? Have you done a feasibility study? Hold on, let me answer it at the end. Answer at the end. For the population that we have. Did you consider the fact that the school district is building a sportsplex? Did you consider the fact that many of the Parks and Recreations Department in our area, they partner together? Like I took a class in Park Forest, but actually it was in Olympia Fields facility. They work together to share resources. Did you think about that?
I thought about the village.
Wait, I'm talking. What about
That's all right.
what about
I'm
other
gonna have
needs?
Ashley talk.
We have so many infrastructure deficits. We do. We need our streets done. It's places, I'm not even going to list them, but you know what they are. We need a lot of other things. And it can't be just your idea, Mayor.
See,
it's a good idea.
It's not just.
I'm talking.
That's how you're talking, but we can have interactive
Okay,
conversation.
wait, let me get it
because
out.
it's not school where the teacher talks to be
I
silent.
might forget.
Go ahead.
Forget.
I know you
just
got
like you just
we got
said.
the same thing. I
no,
understand.
we're not the same, but
Well,
anyway.
it's close.
For the sake of time, just let her talk and then you take over.
It can't be just your ideas. You have to include all of us because we have a lot of experience. The residents have experience. They have expertise in so many areas. You have to include everybody because it's going to be everybody that's got to pay for whatever you come up with by yourself. We got to agree. It has to make sense. And that's it. So community center is wonderful. I would love it.
Okay.
But it has to be reasonable.
Okay, yeah, okay, so let me just say this. I put in a lot of hard work, and this isn't just my idea. I'm the one that'll go to do the work, but this is what the whole thing is for. This is for the general public to start having conversations. It might have been my concept. This was something that happened in my second year as elected mayor in the first term, and it's built up, and there's been mechanisms. So this is to start the conversation with the public. This isn't, hey, this is it, just do it. No, this is the part where the public engagement comes in at. And the reason I was very versed with the presentation because I got a passion for reinvesting in my community. I got a passion in believing in Proverbs 29:18, where there's no vision, the people shall perish. I believe where there's a will, there's a way. And I believe that we got smart enough people in this community that we, just like you just said, public-private partnerships, relationships building. Why couldn't it be a village and a park district working and collaborative together? Why couldn't it be a unification? So I greatly appreciate that because your sentiments are quite different than your co-part at the other end. So, yeah, thank you.
But you don't have to point it out. Because,
and
hold on, Mayor, because you're trying to start some stuff.
Hey, hold up.
you're trying-
Only one person at a time.
Order, please.
I'm making
Order,
a
please.
statement. Don't bring me in a conversation.
Wait your turn, please.
Have your speaking, but don't bring me in.
If it don't apply, let it fly.
Well, you should have shut it up then.
It shouldn't have to be argumentative.
You the one
Well,
started.
you are the trustee. Okay.
The residents have to be aware of what's going on.
Anyway.
As for a community center, that is something that I've been saying, I've been asking for, and we've been trying to get things to happen in our community for years. But what has been saying to me, oh, we can't afford it, we can't do it. But you want to present something.
You ain't never heard me say that. Never heard me say that.
Oh, yeah.
And you've never presented anything that was going to be well-being for this community. But we're not here for derogatory, negative comments.
But that's
I
what
just
you
made
just
a comment,
did.
and I
So,
stated, I'm
just
not going
like
back with
you want me to, you
I'm
need
not
to
going
check
back with you.
yourself when it comes down to
I'm not going back
when
with
you
you. We got
refer
real
something
business
to
to take
me.
of.
Do not compare me.
I'ma take
I
care
don't
of my
do that to
household
you.
first.
And I don't expect for you to do it to me. You say what you have to say, and I'm going to say what I have to say.
Very good. Very good for you. Very good. Very good. Anyway, does anyone else have anything? Yes, good, Mr. Ellis, go ahead.
I just want to know, the buildings up there, are they high enough to have basketball?
Yeah, see? So, shoot, I don't beat my wife. I don't beat my wife at all. I don't.
Well, Ms. Mill, I think the mayor and I thank you for your vision and for your hard work and what you're doing. I understand that, and all the people and the rest of the people in this community. I said it, I don't know how many times, so do not want to repeat it again, but I am going to say it. I don't care. But we need some people here. We cannot put the cart before the horse.
I got you.
Okay?
I got you.
Think about that. These people made a good presentation. I like it. But I like all these other facilities around you, too. Let's look at those two. Public-private partnerships, go.
And see, that's
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
And Ms. Mary, that's why I said this would be the start of conversations, and people could have their input, cost analysis, and all these other things. This is how it all starts. Because you know what? I might get things done out the box in a different way than everybody thinks it does, but the work is evident. When you look around and see things that were once empty are now fulfilled, trust and believe these things can be achieved. And that's all. And I appreciate your comments, and I want to have roundtable conversations with all the residents, because in leadership and reality, we're not planning for us, and if we're not planning for our next generation, we're failing everybody. So, and I'll leave that. If no one else has any comments to have, I'll go on to our next presentation, and I won't delay this any longer. Mr. Marabelli, thank you so much, and we'll constantly be in communication. Thank you so much.
Good evening, all. What you have in front of you are, the bound copy is similar to the last time I was here presenting on the tax levy, and the bound copy is the tax levy. Then there's a PowerPoint presentation. There is also a pamphlet, which if you scan the QR code, it will bring you to the village website, which that will include all of the same documents that you guys see in front of you right now. Also, you have the financial statements in front of you. I know since you guys just got them, you haven't had a chance to review them, so I'm not going to go in depth on them. But in conjunction with the financials, I'm also going to let you know that the village will be having their budget hearing to accept the 2024-2025 budget on December 19th. Also, since property taxes are one of your largest revenue streams, we will also be considering, or the village will be considering, the tax levy on December 19th, right after the budget hearing on that same day. The village will be passing a levy to absorb the TIF 5 EAV closure into its levy on that day.
All right. Any questions about the finances, the report? Does everyone have a TIF 5 closure brochure?
Also, there are copies for the residents at the table, so if anyone wants to take it when they leave, they should be eventually coming in the mail for every household in University Park. Copies of the pamphlets that all the trustees have.
And it should be coming, as he stated, it should be coming to everyone's mailbox.
Also, there's a QR code on that. If you scan it, you'll have all of the information that the trustees have. You'll be able to get it from the village website. The PowerPoint presentation, the tax levy booklet, and a copy of the brochure are all on the village website.
Mayor, might be recognized. Yeah. Yeah, this little pamphlet. Did everyone get one though? Or is it, or we just, oh, they on the table?
Going in the mail, but there are some at the table, but this is going to the mail.
Okay, did y'all hear Ms. Scott? Because remember, I don't want that picture floating around in the mailbox that Theo Brooks raised your property tax, don't vote for him.
If I may, trustee?
Yeah,
This will actually, based on our recommendation, it will result for everyone getting a small decrease on their property tax bill from the village perspective.
okay, can you say that again, please?
This will, based on our recommendation, will result for all properties in the village to get a small property tax reduction.
Okay,
The people, if the village does nothing, the people who primarily benefit are only the industrials. On the pamphlet, there is a chart that will show on the inside right side that if we do nothing, the only people who truly benefit from this are going to be the industrial businesses in town.
right. Right. I want to make sure this is not the, okay, this is more for this, right, Chris?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, this is not about the, because I was looking at second and third reading of the budget. That's not this discussion, right?
No,
Phew, okay,
I'm just giving it, we're just making sure that you all have it far in advance.
okay. Good.
That's why we were just discussing the financials and providing all the documents. There.
So Chris, a question. It will go down with TIF 5, right?
yes.
How much would it go up with a park district?
I don't know. I didn't anticipate that question. I can look into that, but I did not anticipate that question.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But so most of,
No, because the reason why I can't speculate is that will impact as to overall what all the other taxing bodies in the area.
okay. So, just want to check, so the chart that you gave us was the chart from the presentation from before, right?
The only difference is there was an increase in the overall EAV for TIF 5. It went from when I originally presented, the EAV was 85 million, I was estimating. It's now, last I talked to Will County, 94 million.
Damn.
So that's why your amount went up, but the overall EAV went up, which means that you have more ability and you'll have a greater impact.
Right.
That's how equalized assessed value, right?
Yep, equalized assessed value.
And home values too, because when at one time we were all upside down in our houses, that $150,000 house wasn't worth a doggone thing. And now you're getting more increased value in your property, which most people want to have more additional value in their property. So you're going to definitely pay additional taxes because you're increased in your property values. It makes sense. Then basically, you're getting more equity in your property for those who understand that. That's basically what's happening.
Can I?
No, you can all depends. Go ahead, trustee.
I was going to say, can we ever get Sandra Hurd to come to these meetings? Because she's our tax assessor. She should be able to answer these questions. These are questions that I know her office should be addressing, and maybe she can give us an idea on how much our taxes would either go up, stay the same, or whatever. But I think we need an expert here, and not to discredit you, because you're excellent at what you do. But I'm just saying a tax assessor, because we're all concerned about our taxes now. We all have to pay taxes if you're a homeowner. So I would like to have her come out and, address some of these questions. Is she still part of the finance team, Trustee McFadden? Oh, okay.
But we'll send out for, because that would be an informed.
Is it? Oh, Jesus.
Anything else for Chris?
No, just the,
One second, Ms. Morgan, let the trustee finish and then go right ahead.
yeah, no, just, I see the EVA, so then the disbursement will pretty much be even bigger once we vote, or once the money is allocated, correct?
Yes. I've already allocated, well, I have my proposal on how I created it, which is incorporated into the budget draft, because we need to budget for that extra revenues. So I have included it in the budget. You are all welcome to change it however you guys see fit. So that way we can appropriate, because we can't pass a levy for something we don't appropriate. So I adjusted the budget accordingly for the appropriation of what we're recommending for the TIF 5 closure.
And that's under would that be under the intergovernmental taxes? that you
No,
have?
there's actually a line item on the budget, a column that says TIF 5 closure,
Okay.
where I have an equal offset for revenue versus expenses.
Because I won't say the number for 2025, but I think the public know that I had mentioned that we're at 14, or that the budget has it that the income would be at 14. Wait a minute. Yeah, 14 million. Right.
Well, I can
Right.
tell you right now, as of August, the financials you have in front of you, we have, revenue-wise, the village for the general fund has made 11.9 million in revenue.
Right. But I guess, okay, well, I want to talk about it because I know this is the second and third reading. But I want to make sure my eyes are not, trustee.
We wasn't talking about the budget, right?
No, I just,
I mean, I think he go, right, but he getting into it, so.
It's good to get his questions answered now, then.
Right, I know I ain't crazy.
In proper order, you may, after the trustees finish discussion.
Okay, so yeah, Chris, no, what I'll do is, because this item, the questions I have is definitely, it's not, according to Robert Rules of Order, we can't discuss this. But I appreciate you leaving this in the village manager, giving it to us ahead of time. However, that is a significant, definitely increase that I think we need to make sure that the voters, or the residents are educated so they understand that TIF 5 closure, the impact that it will have on the taxes.
for clarity for the residents, there is no increase on their property tax bill by this action. All we're doing is absorbing their EAV from TIF 5 into the village's overall tax levy.
Right. Say it again.
There is no increase on the residents' tax bill based on this. All we're doing is absorbing the TIF 5 EAV of over 90 million into the village's overall levy.
And
That's all we're doing.
And I'm gonna have to make sure. I may have to have a YouTube. You know where I'm going with it. Yeah, I can see my picture, but you heard Chris. No, we're not talking Miss Millie. I'm saying it just what it is, Miss Millie. What it is that I'm trying to say what we're about to do is for the sake of the residents receiving money. And when we vote for the levy, we will be voting for the levy at a certain number that what I'm afraid of is that we're not used to voting a certain way. And it's election season coming up, and some people like to lie. And some people like to sit out there and post your picture and say you raise the taxes when the truth is that the taxes will be going down. Because the TIF is closing and that money will be allocated out to the village finally. So I'm telling the people ahead of time, watch for that lie. Watch for that lie with my picture on it, because nobody else's pictures get chosen. I yield my time.
I wanted to make a, hold on. I just wanted to say that I appreciate you all getting this together for the residents, because that is something that was asked of at the tax levy hearing. I think, so thank you for getting this together so they could be able to read it and understand it, so.
And please come out. There is a finance committee meeting on Thursday. There's a standing meeting now that I put in place every third Thursday of the month. I'm asking people to come out, specifically on the agenda. We will be discussing this in detail. So, you know, the residents and the Board of Trustees asked for more workshops, information to be sent out, and we're doing that. So we're asking everyone, anyone who's watching this, please come out this Thursday. Thank you. Chris will be present. Thank you.
Folks, you had something? Thank you, Manager. Anybody else with the finance? The last item is, am I right, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Item 51B, a discussion and ordinance repealing ordinance 0218, amending chapter 232 of the Village of University Park. I was asking the guys to table it because the clerk isn't here, but we can have this open conversation if you want, because Trustee Fulcher wanted to make sure that this stayed on to have an open discussion. But that's fine and dandy. Basically, so we can start the conversation. So the topic of it is an ordinance repealing ordinance number 02018-11, amending chapter 232 of Title 6-2 of the codified ordinances of the Village of University Park, Cook and Will County, Illinois, pertaining to composition, purpose, and configuration of the Division of Fire. Trustee Fulcher, go right ahead.
You go ahead and tell us what it's all about.
Well, no, you wanted to have this action. I wanted to table it because the clerk isn't here tonight and she had the pertinent information that I was going to work off of. So since you asked this to remain on
I asked for this to remain on the agenda because, as a courtesy, again, we did not receive any packet, any information until today for everything that's on the agenda. But as a courtesy, because presenters came to present, we said, let's go ahead and let them to present. So they wouldn't waste their time, as well as some other people that's in the audience in regards to an agenda item. So if we extend the courtesy to the presenters, we're going to extend the courtesy to other people that want to talk about something on the agenda. That's why I said leave it there. And the board agreed because we went around and they said yes. So don't just say, Trustee Fulcher, yes, I motioned for it, but the board agreed to keep it on.
All right, thank you. Trustee Thompson.
So I suppose in your agenda meeting, you discussed the purpose for this change. So can you tell us what the purpose is?
Well, the whole purpose is I'm a strong advocate of diversity and inclusion, fair and equal opportunity, and I just don't understand to this day what the clerk was telling me prior, what the clerk was explaining to me prior to this, that for 50 years that there had been an opportunity to practice and hire from within, and she didn't understand what the urgency and what the need was to have an ordinance created in 2018 that says that you must hire directly from within, and there's no posting, because in our current makeup and composition, there are no opportunities for diversity and inclusion. And I don't think that it's a bad thing just to open it up. It's not my intentions to spite anyone from the fire department or any other thing, but don't you think that African Americans and Latinx should have, and everybody should have the opportunity to apply on legal postings? I'm not trying to violate anything. I just don't understand what the intention was and why was it so necessary. If everything had been going so smoothly for 50 years, then in 2018, what was the urgency to have to change the language, which was operating so good, to just basically say that the Village of University Park can't post a fire department position because the new law says that you have to hire from within. So I didn't understand that, and I just come from a phenomenal workshop at the conference talking about diversity and inclusion. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with affirmative action. We don't know what a lot of things that gave us an opportunity to be, as I would say, level the playing field. So that is the reason I want to have an informed discussion, but unfortunately my clerk hit me at 6:53 and said, well, I ain't gonna tell you what she said, but she said that she won't be able to attend tonight. But, you know, I guess Melindra had already known, but I got the last minute call because she was prepared and already here. So I found out when I'm coming in the door. So that's the whole intention. And I want to hear from the fire department.
Wait, man.
Hold on. Oh, okay. And I want to hear from the fire department because this is a serious conversation in the climate that we live in. So this is, and maybe they can give me better understanding because I'm still don't understand it. And Mike, you were here previously before. This is a conversation that just needs to give us better clarity, give me better clarity, because I think that everybody should have fair and equal access and opportunity if they're qualified to apply for jobs. And I do believe in minority participation. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll stand on it, and it's all good. And contracting and in all services. And I believe in diverse and communities. So that's all. Go ahead.
So, Mayor, you said it again. You said you think. You didn't ask us what we think.
That's what this is for. To ask what you think. This is what this whole session is for.
Mayor, I'm talking.
Go on.
So you just said you just wondered why we didn't have diversity and inclusion. Do we not have anybody apply for a job at the fire department? Can anyone apply for a job at the fire department? They can. They can apply. And most jobs are my job. They hire from within first, and then they go outside. That's most jobs.
I'm not against
that. So
that.
it's nothing to stop anyone of any culture, race from applying for the fire department. So if it's not broke, what do we fix?
That's the point I'm making. If it worked so good for 50 years, in the 52nd year, why did it have to be changed? You made the point for me. If it wasn't broke, why was the need to fix it?
But what is stopping people who are black and brown people, as you said, Latinx, whatever, what is stopping them from applying for a job at the fire department? Nothing.
Well, listen, I'm not saying there's nothing prohibiting them, but you made the most profound statement I've heard in a long time. If it's not broke...
It's not broke now.
Why fix it? So the question I just need to have myself satisfied, and I know, is what was the need to change it? If it wasn't broke, you said it over and over again.
It's not broken now.
50 years of succession.
It's not broken.
And Sean, maybe you can help me out, because is this something that you encouraged or something?
I would love to comment on this. I really, to start it out, my comments has not changed since the last time around. I don't believe that we need to change this in any way, shape, or form. Any person of any race can apply for the job of a firefighter paramedic in University Park. All they have to do is serve the community like I did and my other firemen here have for 10 years, and they're eligible to apply for an opening of fire chief. So everyone has an equal opportunity to apply for this position. You just have to work hard to earn that ability to apply for that. That's all this is. You have 10 years as the minimum requirement of service in this community, and you can apply for that position. I did it. My gentlemen, or my members here have done it. I haven't been here for 20 years. And just to give a glimpse, and I can't speak for anyone who isn't sitting in this room, but at the time when this was done, there was turmoil in some of the other departments. There was inconsistency in hiring managers, and it became a huge problem. It actually resulted in quite a few lawsuits. So the fire department, who's only had 3 fire chiefs in this entire time since I've been here.
Wait, let me see.
3 fire chiefs. There was Dave Litton when I was hired, then there was Brian.
Oh, since you were here.
Since I've been here, it's 20 years.
I was going to start with
That was
Grumman,
20 years.
Litton, Exner, and everybody else. Go ahead.
20 years, and Extra was one of them, 20 years, and I don't think there's anyone else in the room that's been employed here more than 20 years. Am I missing that? So I'm just saying, there was
Just
Dave
the two of
Litton,
us.
there was Chuck Exner, there was Brian Chelios, and now myself. So it showed a concession of people, regardless of race, that were here that consistently did the job all the way through. And I have to say that I think our department has held through all those years and done a great job. No, there's been a lot of inconsistency throughout the other departments, and I'm not knocking any of the other departments, but there's been a change of management that has led, much like the village manager, of only being here a short time to not have a future or a planning ability, because no one who's leading the department's here long enough.
Okay.
So that's all I would like to comment on.
Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to hear from the trustee
Okay,
Williams.
I think I understand what they're saying, but I guess the point is, sure, anybody can apply, but if you're hiring from within and you got people that have been there eons before you, your chances of getting up that ladder are going to be slim to none. So I think that's what they're looking at. And I don't know how it is for the police department, but if we hire just from within, because I know in the past we haven't. We have done citywide searches to get the best possible candidate. We didn't just go from within because, let's face it, some of the people within may have not been the best person for the job. So I can see it both ways. I think that we do need to maybe revisit it or look at it, but I'd like to see people get an opportunity to get in that position and not have to wait decades before they can get to the top of the ladder. That's all I'm saying.
Ma'am, may I be recognized?
Okay, go ahead, trustee.
You know, first of all, no one on this board sit as a civil service employee except myself, the chief, and the fire chief. There was no urgency, and I say it again, there was no urgency when we created this ordinance in 2018. We were trying to establish the police and fire. We also passed something for the police department. Now, the fire presented something. I keep hearing John Pate, why did John Pate did this? And John Pate, it was the board decision, and he was the village manager at that time. If you ever work in the fire field, and that's the problem I have, is that people right now are commenting on the fire field and you never worked it. If you never sat on a police and fire commission to understand it and have the training, honestly, I really don't even think this is why we have a problem right now, is legislators are the ones that's messing things up. Because I'm telling you now, as a police officer, it was a legislator that thought tasers, they never work a day in their life on the street. It was a taser that a legislator decided to take away from police officers, and I went into a house and my life changed, and another officer's changed. So as legislators, the fire department presented something to us, and sometimes I'm beginning to wonder, when we want to repeal this, we want to search from the outside. I sometimes wonder, is it because the elephant in the room at times seems to be race? We want a black fire chief. And it's been said, but that's not how it works. I sat as the chair of the Police and Fire Commission, and we hired more firefighters and more policemen under my tenure. And I can tell you this, Chief Richards, I think he was like a lieutenant back then, he sat in the room as I had over 100 candidates for firefighters. 10 of them, at least minimum, were African American, black, whatever word you want to use. At the end of the day, when I went to call, all of them have left to go to another department because they preferred the pay, everything. What I don't understand about this ordinance, we keep trying to make it like it's such urgency, and we keep talking about diversity. Right now, we even have a problem with diversity with police officers. Take a look at the city of Chicago. You have Hispanics, more Hispanics than African American applying for that job. So why as legislators we keep dipping our toe into the bucket when it comes to trying to write rules and fix it? Because at the end of the day, I can tell you when I came to a police department, you come in at the bottom like a soldier, you work hard so you come out the top as a general. That's how it works. Firefighters and police officers are paramilitary. They're the same as what our United States military is structured. You come from the bottom to work your way to the top. And we want to sit here and keep picking with the fire department to repeal this ordinance so that we can pick somebody, because that's what the truth is of your picking. Now, I'm going to be honest. If I was a University Park police officer, I won't see no hope of me getting promoted. I might as well just ride around in a squad car. Well, the firefighters, according to this ordinance, what they're doing is they're working hard. They're earning their chance to move up in the structure and have the opportunity to be a fire chief. That's the purpose of it. So we don't need to repeal anything for a second time. First of all, I heard of this when I was sick. Then here we go again when I'm well and I come back. Now this is the third time it done came up. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with it. If we want to take a look, we need more police bodies on the street. That's what we should be working on than worrying about the structure of the fire department so we can have our own pickings at the top. That's the bottom line. So I finish by saying that at the end of the day, we did the right thing in 2018. And I'm going to say it again. Stop saying it was urgent. Stop saying it was 51 years. Because at the end of the day, I could tell you now, we want to talk about how old something is. Let's talk about how old the policy manual is.
Thank God for Mr. Berry.
So we want to sit here and talk about old. The village needs updating a whole lot.
They do.
And and it's things that needs to be done. The plate was full. It's plenty of things to do. I don't have a problem with Chief Richards, and I don't have a problem with people that's under him. The problem I do have is that they're running short. They won't have time to pick, we won't have time to pick up. I think, didn't we have a police officer just left? I think the one firefighter we hired, I think maybe one had quit. I'm not sure. But we're struggling. So when we start talking about at the top, the fire department from experience, and I'm talking 2 decades, is also as a commissioner. There's nothing wrong with this ordinance. It was written correctly. And everybody at this fire department is working hard so they can come to the top as well. And honestly, I wish we can do the same at the police department. Because the police department has their own issues. We got a police chief right now, he working on a month-to-month damn contract. His job ain't even secure. So I yield my time when it comes to this ordinance, and I hope it does not come up again.
With trustee, go ahead, trustee Williams.
I just want to say, I'm not against whatever, the repeal or whatever happened in 2018. I was just saying, I know that from a business perspective, most companies, they don't have a problem hiring within, but they also sometimes look to the outside as well to get the best possible candidate. And as far as the police department, I definitely hope they don't just go from within, because when it comes to public safety, I think they do need to dig a little further and make sure they're getting the best possible candidate. I voted for Richards. I think he's doing an outstanding job. I have no problem with that. So I don't want nobody twisting or putting a post up saying, oh, she's with him now and she's against this. That's not what I was saying. I'm just saying everybody should be given a fair shake at it so that they can reach the top as well. That's all I'm saying. Not putting down what Pate, Brooks, what they put together. I don't have a problem with that. But I do want to make sure that when it comes to public safety, that we're always looking for the best person to take leadership and guide us in the right direction. Thank you.
So before you speak, trustee Brooks, you did make one comment, and that made me look at two sides of the coin. You said that it seems that somebody wants to place somebody like in a position or something like that. That's why to repeal this ordinance. So what you made me think of then is what was the creation of this ordinance for? To make sure that someone gets a succession?
Mayor, may I make another comment, please?
What's the
Okay, so
Right.
what trustees just stated about that somebody wanted to get a black fire chief or whatever, right? And you said that because someone wanted to just that.
It was said, Mayor, that there should be a black fire chief. I don't want to go there because at the end of the day, we know we ain't got no more money to be paying out, right, Ms. Scott?
No.
Because no, it's been said and it's recorded. It's been said. It was said even when you were a trustee.
Oh, well, I didn't say it.
No. You didn't say it.
Okay.
No. I'm not saying. First of all, I'm not saying who said it.
Okay, but
it was said, and the thing is that we playing with fire. The police and the fire department has been perfectly structured. What I don't understand is that when we start repealing stuff, like this is so important. And I'm just gonna be honest, I'm being frank. We repealing this, why we didn't repeal and bring back Park and Rec?
Because the legislators got a lot of conversation, but no action. So listen. So Brooks, hold it, Theo. This is what I was asking you.
I'm just getting old, you know.
Listen, please, let's not be cave people. Understand? So when I was asking, I believe that. So what I was saying is that the statement you just made reactivated something in my mind, because it made it seem that you made the statement that it appears that someone just wanted to hire a BC, a black fire chief, right? That was, you say what the intention was? So then my other question.
Does repealing this bring in a black fire chief?
No. So what I'm saying is then, was the creation of this ordinance to ensure that someone else is in succession gets the fire chief?
Can I comment on that?
There you go. Go ahead, because he was here. I promoted him to deputy chief that night that we enact this. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chief.
Wait a minute, you was on the board.
I sure was.
Yeah. No, but this.
I sure was. That's why I don't have no problem. Someone just call and ask me about the ordinance.
Okay.
To address your flip side of that coin, Mayor, multiple people in the fire department can apply for that position at one time. And the mechanisms that keep it fair is a decision by the village manager of those multiple people that can put in for it. Then it has to be approved by the board. So to say that someone has been specifically targeted to get a spot in succession, it would be very difficult because it would have to go through the board, it'd have to go through the village manager, and then multiple candidates within the department. So it is open to anyone that has 10 years and meets the qualifications to apply for it, not just one individual.
Well, that's only if it's in-house. If it's out-house, it doesn't have to. They have to just meet the state qualifications. Am I correct?
That's decision of the board.
I mean, no, so I'm saying, my question to you.
Minimums are, the state has the minimum qualifications. Anything after that would be board approved.
That's my only question.
Let me elaborate a little bit farther on that, is if no candidate from within applies, and there isn't, it goes to what you're looking for. You can go to the outside at that point.
It's not what I'm looking for. I really just...
Or just the options of this allows it, if no one within inside applies for it, they can go to the outside, Mayor.
So let me just read my bullet points why, because I'm not going to continue beating the dead horse.
I'm tired of having to defend this, Mayor.
Well,
That's the
you
problem.
don't, see, this is the thing about it. It brings up radars when there's something that you're defending, and if, as the trustee related earlier, if it wasn't broke, why was the need to fix it? It basically, in my opinion, it guarantees the passing of a torch like in the track meet. And that's what it gives the appearance of. And I don't want that to be a reflection of what it is. So I'll just read this brief statement. I'll let you go ahead. I know you're getting your steps on, and I'll tell you why this is important to me. Why diversity and inclusion is important in fire service. Firefighters from diverse backgrounds can bring different perspectives, leading to more creative problem solving and effective decision making. One, to be open about gender pay, inequality, and equality. Be aware of unconscious bias. Acknowledge religious and cultural holidays. Encourage frequent employee feedback. Be aware of ageism and strive for a multi-generational workforce. And that's the only thing that I'm involved in this for, because that's what I would consider leveling the playing field. So go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, and citizens of University Park. My name is Jeff Dennison, a proud, almost 15-year member of the fire department and an executive board member of University Park Firefighters Union. University Park Local 3661 rises once again to voice our objection to repealing Ordinance 02018-11. We once again ask the board and mayor to stand with their employees and vote to keep this ordinance. We left this board meeting this spring with a sense of progress, that the Board of Trustees and mayor were ready and willing to sit in good faith with Local 3661 and the fire administration to learn the significance of this ordinance and how it benefits the citizens of University Park the most. Yet tonight again, it's back on the schedule for discussion. This ordinance was meant to give the fire department a long-term sustainability plan, a lofty goal for its members to dedicate themselves to the department and the community, who put in the years of service, invest in themselves by expanding their knowledge and gaining experience. This has proven to be an effective transition within the fire department because there is no learning curve. They come to the job as chief or deputy chief, already familiar with the department, its personnel, the community, and its needs. They've forged working relationships with the mayor, trustees, village administration, and other department heads. Development of leadership from within also leads to a trend of long-term leadership. Chief Chelios was in a department administrative position for all 14 years I have had the pleasure of serving this community. He was a freshly promoted deputy chief when I joined, eventually becoming a fire chief after Chief Exner retired. That was 14 years of building, 14 years of progress, 14 years of not starting over again and having long-term goals and missions for the fire department. Chief Richards has been with the village for 21 years this coming December, rising through the ranks, becoming a lieutenant. After serving over 7 years as a lieutenant, he was promoted once again, this time to the rank of deputy chief. Alongside Chief Chelios, he guided this department forward for 6 years before being thrust into the position of acting chief. Then being promoted to the position of fire chief, where he continues to guide this department forward. The transition was smooth, and it was productive, as it was, because that leadership came from within. And though we suffered a great loss, there was never a delay. There was never a pause in the department's long-term goals. Our mission continued on without interruption. Local 3661 and its members asked you, Mr. Mayor, and Board of Trustees to once again table this matter. Join us in discussion on how we as a collaborative group can continue to advance this department and set goals and work in unison to achieve those. I'd also like to point out, we do have a diverse department. We have 3 Hispanic individuals that work for us, an African-American male that just joined our ranks, as well as a female. And we're very proud of all of that and our department. And we would like to see this continue to be a place where they can come and serve out the entire tenure of their career, knowing that yes, they'll have to work hard, but they do have an opportunity to make that. Their terms are getting longer and longer that they have to work until they can reach retirement. Give them something to look forward to and to strive for, please.
So, I greatly appreciate everything. And maybe we do need to have a roundtable talk about diversity and inclusion, because maybe there's something I'm missing. And maybe I don't have the best understanding. But at the end of the day, I want what's best for the long, not just for now, but for the future generation of this community. And I want to ensure that our young people get those opportunities. I love our fire department. And as most people know, I've been here I was an employee for the village, union rep for the village, so I know it from the ins and out. I was here when Mike Grubman was the village manager and the fire chief. I was here when Dave Litton was the village manager and the fire chief. I was here when Chucky was the fire chief. So I've seen the succession. I've seen the torch continuously passed around the table. So I'm open to having these open discussions so we can have better understanding. And I put this on this agenda because I just need clarity. I need clarity. Don't get upset because, listen, my grandmama told me if first you don't succeed, you try again. And there's nothing better than having clear, concise communication so we can have a better understanding. And these days and times, the better we have, the better understanding and the better communication, it's easier for everybody. So at the end of the day, that's what it is, and this is what it's all about.
On behalf of
Mayor.
3660.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
On behalf of Local 3661, we welcome the opportunity to work in collaboration with you. We stand ready to sit with you guys and create a continuing growth of this department. There are things that are possible. There are ways for us to attract candidates that represent the community.
Let's set up the workshop, man, after the holidays.
Do that. So,
Trustee McFadden, go right ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to say my two older kids, Tamisha Warden, Timothy Warden, 32 and 36, are firefighters for Fort Worth, Texas. They must have heard something about this ordinance. I didn't hear anything about it, but they would always say the negative stuff to me about being here, a firefighter. So I wish they could have just stayed home and been closer and been right in University Park. But both of them have been, my daughter's 2 years, my son is just 1 year, so. Yep. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Trustee McFadden. Brooks?
Let me also make some clarity here. That sometimes when it comes to municipalities and their sizes, say for instance, City of Chicago, or you say Bolingbrook or one of those towns. You're talking about a large department where within those ranks, they have plenty of ranks. And I'll just go on the police side of the structure. Sergeants, commanders, lieutenants, shift commanders, you name it. Fire department, same way. I want everyone to take a look at the size of our town and what happened since the major layoff. I don't even want to say the number of police officers we have. I can't even get mad at Chief about certain things. You know why? It's an accident. He has to show up and do traffic control. And I'm going to be honest. All my years, 2 decades, the police chief has never been out there doing traffic control. His job should be in the office behind the desk. We need to focus on hiring people, then focusing on who sits at the top. Because the person at the top is not the problem. It's getting the body to serve the community. The fire department is barely, they're holding on because they feel they have a chance. They have the time, the grade. Many of them are over 10 years, so they know if one step out the way, I have a chance. So I really just feel that this ordinance is just not that important. My biggest concern is the police department and the bodies that the police chief need. That is the biggest concern that we should be worrying about, because believe it or not, that officer that was just shot in Chicago was the 46th officer to be killed nationwide. When I walked into the police academy, they made it very clear. CPD said 50 of you all nationwide will die. Now, I want you to picture that. When I worked undercover, Karen will tell you every night she was scared. She was so glad when I was able to shave the beard and put my uniform back on. We have a serious issue, and it's not the fire department, because they put a fire out. I seen them work. Chief Richards was out there helping the family of 620 Old Forest Lane with Red Cross and everything. So I don't see anything wrong with that. The firemen, them guys, matter of fact, the grandkids just so happen to be down over, as well as the other ones. They didn't interact with those kids because it's Trustee Brooks' grandkids and kids on the block. When they finished fighting the fire, them guys walked up and they showed them the fire truck and everything else while they rolled the water hose up. So the problem is not the fire department. The problem come in is we need bodies on the street as police officers, and I think we need to shift the focus of what's more important outside of this ordinance. The police department needs help, and I yield my time.
All right. So what next? So do you guys want to just table this and move forward, or what we want to do with this? Sit back, because I want to continue. I want to have these workshops with the fire department. I want to know what the plans are. I want to ensure that, we don't, I think we should have a workshop, because I think there's something that we should just be better informed as a community. Why not?
John Pay back in town, asked him to come show up.
Who?
He helped. There wasn't nothing wrong with the ordinance.
Okay. All right, so that closes that one out.
Yeah. Bringing stuff up over and over again for one person's idea.
Because we're going to have a workshop, whether you participate or not. We're going to have a diversity, equity, inclusion workshop.
Isn't it a majority decision?
You don't have to participate, but we're going to have a workshop. No? Yeah, it's a majority decision. You going to have one? You going to participate?
Man, why we keep saying, why we keep saying this is about equality? It's not about equality.
It's equity, not equality.
Equity. Whatever you want to call it, Mayor, my point is...
Let's have a workshop, man. We ain't got to keep beating the dead horse.
It makes me feel like, I voted for something that won't bring something across the board. And that's not true. It's not true.
We had a workshop,
He's coming from within.
Let's have a workshop. We'll have a workshop, and we'll continue it that way, because you know what? There's some things, you don't know what you don't know until you had the conversations. So let's have the conversations. All right. So here we go, our general public comments. Oh, I got a list. Officer Gabbard. Dennison. Thank you so much. Mr. Insure Source. Ms. Millie. Oh, okay, I get you next. It ain't such, they on the list, don't say I gotta go in order. Come on, Sonia Jenkins.
Good evening, Mayor Board.
We can't hear you, son.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, hi. Mayor Board, thank you guys for the information tonight. And one thing I will say about the fire department, I am gonna say this. Our fire department is one of the best fire departments I've seen working in different communities. I have witnessed personally, my neighbor could be gone across the Rainbow Bridge, but she's still here. And when I say they're good, I didn't know, thank God, how good they actually are. They are priceless. And for us to waver back and forth with their department, we need to stop. We need to get to the business of this village. We need striping down our streets. A child was hit, and from my understanding, did not make it or is still in critical condition. We need safe passage. We need more police. We need these things in our community. And also, I'm looking in the community, in the audience, and I'm seeing all of our long-standing employees that gave their lives to this community, the majority of their lives. And for us to try to take away their health insurance is despicable. And to send something to their home to tell them, not even give them 30 days, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I don't know who did this, but I know it's unacceptable. And I know that you guys need to understand that we're living in trying times. It's not a lot of people in this community. And you have to give the people the respect that they deserve for the time and tenure that they've given us. So please, we're asking you guys to stop with these rash decisions and put things that are important in place. Things that are important. We need safe passage for our children. We need crossing guards. Well, we got police, but we don't have enough. They can't be everywhere at the same time. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What if they're trapped over there and the train comes and something major happens on this side? What do they do then? These are things that we need to start to address. Now, on a good note, I want to talk about the veterans event. It was really nice. My son is a veteran. I was very happy to attend. It was a nice event. And my question is that my son wants to know, who does he talk to because he would like to join the committee? Who would he talk to join the Veterans Committee? And also, he wants to know if he attends a stepper set, and would he have to, as a veteran, pay $10 to get in? And where does the money go after the $10 is paid? Does it go to future events? Does it go to future events for the Veterans Committee? That's a good thing. I mean, I'm excited about that because we see it in other communities, and now we're going to see it in our community, and we want to see what's going to happen. Can you answer?
Not right now. Not right now. You know, we'll talk to have it side by you guys to set up the Veterans Committee. I don't want to continue because I want to make sure everybody has their 3 minutes.
Okay.
I don't want to let you go longer than the next person.
Okay, well, also, when you're doing this, would you please take into consideration what the residents want and not what you want?
It ain't what I want. I just want clarity.
Yeah, we need you guys to take into consideration what the residents want and need. Okay.
Ms. Mildred?
Hello.
Yes.
I am Miss Millie. I'd like to know whose bright idea was this to take the insurance, dental, health from policemen's staff that has been here 20 years and over? Whose bright idea was that? You didn't have nothing else to do? No. Nothing else to do but to dig up and then send letters out to people, Ms. Scott? To send out letters to people. I got this letter. I couldn't believe it. And you know what? What my concern is, and I'm sure I speak for the rest, Mr. Rudez, you have brought on more lawsuits. Than any other mayor.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not going to let you sit there and
Count
tell
them up. I'm talking right now.
You may be talking,
I'm
but you're not
talking
gonna,
right now.
You may be talking.
I am talking right now.
You may be talking, but you're not going to lie on me.
I am talking right now.
You'll be talking your butt out the door. You don't respect the chair.
Right now.
Yep, you're going to respect this chair. So you're not going to sit there and tell a lie.
More lawsuits Just in the last few years, oh my goodness,
No,
the
you
last
haven't.
couple of years.
Our lawsuits are down.
But here's what bothers me. Right here it says, labor agreement between the Village of University Park from the Teamster Local 700. It ends the 26th, April 30th of 2026. So you right dead in the middle of trying to stop this, trying to take this away from people. What in the world is wrong with you? You are causing a suit because there's going to be people that's going, and you know what? You don't have to pay a dime. You ain't got to pay him. You ain't got to pay him nothing. When the suit goes through and they win, because I'm going to stand every step of the way with them, then we going to have, all of us, including your ass, going to have to pay for the lawsuit. Indirectly, we'll get it from you too. You have no right. You either, Miss Scott, you ain't been here but what, 2 years? And you done found a loophole? What is wrong with you? We're not gonna have it.
Your 3 minutes has expired, Ms. Millie. Thank you. Thank you so much. But, Greg.
Good evening.
Lord, remove that deaf and dumb spirit from that woman.
I wasn't going to speak, but I think I need to. I stand here and I represent some of the people that
Stand up there with them, guys. Get the guys up there.
that retired
Stand up there with them.
from the village.
Shut your mouth.
I just wanted to ask one question. What good is a village policy, a union contract, if the village is not going to abide by it? Currently, we have a contract with the village. I have a letter that Deputy Clerk wrote back in 2010. And in that letter, it said that any and all employees with 20 years of service are afforded health care at no cost. It was a stipulation in it that if you went and got a full-time job, then you were off the insurance, or if you wanted your dependents on the insurance, you had to pay whatever differences that it was. Now, the majority of the officers that retired from this department, including me, the village has been paying the insurance probably over 15 years. The majority of the officers that are receiving this insurance are in their 70s. I'm close to my 70s, okay? And when you get to be that age, you start having health issues, okay? The insurance that is afforded by the village, even though once you turn 65, you have to sign up for Medicare. That's for everybody, okay? But the insurance that was being afforded by the village only served as a supplement. It doesn't take priority, it serves as a supplement, which means that if you're on Medicare, they can pay up to 80% and you're left with the 20%. So that insurance that's being paid by the village took care of that 20%, okay? But we do, you have your current contract with the police department, which doesn't expire till 2026. The fire department, they have it in their contract, it states the same thing. So once you guys make a decision, because you have to November 30th, and we would like to get a letter. If you reverse this, we would like to get a letter rescinding what was sent out to us, okay? Because I called Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they told me that all it takes is a phone call from the village manager, and we can be off. That's all it takes. We need our insurance.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. We took care of this village for over 20 years. This officer here did 30 years. We need our insurance. You know, and you just got through talking about, you know, employees. You're not going to get good employees if you don't learn to take care of those employees. So that's all I want to say.
Hey,
Can I-
Boss, thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to see you guys and Delois and Jonah and all the crew back there. I used to have a lot of good times together working with you guys. Yeah?
Can I,
Go ahead, trustee.
you know, okay, here's the thing. When you get the insurance, I don't know why when it was written that it didn't specify when a person turns 65, they should go on Medicare. And then all they need is a supplement. I am a Blue Cross Blue Shield retiree. We were not given free coverage. The company pays a good amount of it. We pay a lesser amount. But I work for the company, and it wasn't free. What I understand is each individual, when they turn 65, in most cases, Blue Cross will send you a letter, in most cases 3 months ahead of time, to let you know you're turning 65, contact Social Security, and in most cases, Social Security will contact you to let you know you should go on Medicare. Part A is free. Part B, you're going to pay for.
Right.
Your Part B is your outpatient. Your Part A is your hospital. Medicare pays 80%, key thing, of what they approve. Because if they don't approve it, it's not covered.
Right.
But most things that are medically necessary, they're going to pay that 80%. You just need a small supplement to pay the 20%. Here's where we went wrong. People are on major medical plans. Those plans should have been only given to people up to 64. Because when you paying a major medical plan after 65, you paying an arm and a leg for that coverage. And the thing is, and it's okay, but it's also, you know, and I'm not saying they should take it away from y'all, but it is, at some point, our village needs to grandfather that. Because otherwise, our village is going to go bankrupt if we try to give everybody 100% coverage for the 20 years or more. They need to make sure that that policy is changed so that it will read, once they turn 65, go on Medicare, and we pay for the supplement. That's the way it should have been done. But unfortunately, it wasn't done correctly.
Right. Well,
And
you
in
know
the meantime, I forget now, I think we're paying between $400,000 and $700,000 a year to keep those retirees covered. And that number is going to continue to grow with other people reaching that 20-year mark. So sooner or later, this village is going to have to come up with something, because they will belly up if they don't. That's all I have to say.
Can I respond to that? You know, I had a conversation with the HR, Miss Betty, and I informed Miss Betty, you know, she said, you know, that the village was going to change the policy. The village has every right to change the policy, and what I was trying to get her to understand, once that policy is changed, then whatever date is on there, everybody before that date, we're grandfathered in. And that should be a condition of employment for new people that's coming in. I understand that. Because in Will County, you know, they got hundreds of people working for Will County. They had that in there, that once you turn 65, you're off the insurance, okay? But you don't have it here, and you still don't have it here. You know, and once that policy is changed, which, you know, I mean,
I want to bring that legislature in to change that, so that moving forward, these people are grandfathered, and we don't go belly up to keep them covered. We need to make sense. Go on Medicare when you turn 65.
That's well,
we give you the supplement.
You have to go on Medicare. That's law.
That's law.
Right. That's law.
Right.
But like I said, once you change that policy, then once that occurs, then everybody that are retired before that date, whatever that date is, it can be next week. Those people are grandfathered in. That's all I was just trying to explain to her.
And sometimes the government can step in and change things. Because when I retired, everything, like our life insurance was free and our dental was free, but we did have to pay a small portion for the health insurance. But because some kind of law or something took place, we now have to pay a small fraction of the cost for dental, which I negotiated the contract and indicated we would get these things for free.
Right.
But because government changed, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, government supersedes everything. And when they step in with a law or something, then that wipes everything else out the door, because that's the government, that's Big Brother. So sometimes things like that can happen, and we don't have a say-so. That's the USA that has that say-so. So that needs to be considered too, because laws and things do change. So,
Well,
but
the
I
village-
definitely want to make sure that we don't continue down this road, because it is very, very costly.
Well,
No one should have a
everything is
major
expensive.
medical after 65.
Everything is expensive. If I'm not mistaken, I think the village is home rule. So like I said, they can change, you can change the policy, but everybody before that date is grandfathered in.
Ma'am, may I be recognized?
Oh.
Mrs. Morgan, please don't yell out. We're gonna deal with this. This is none of your concern because you're not
Yes,
affected
it
by
is
it.
my concern. I don't want to be stooped. I don't want the stoop to follow me. My damn taxes is high enough. And you done brought them up already with the fire district. Now you're bringing it up again with,
You gotta sing your freeze, Miss Millie. I looked your stuff up.
Well, you have to disrespect property. Don't disrespect your elder. Now give her the fucking.
I'm a yield, Mr. Mayor, I'm a yield to Trustee Thompson first, and then, yeah.
So it's so ironic that I got the same, I work for the state of Illinois. I got the exact same letter the other day. It told me, oh, hey, Jewel, we see you about to make 65. As long as you're working, you can keep your insurance. But once you retire, then we're going on the 20%. And we're just going to pay this much, and you got to pay this much. And then your Medicare, you know, Medicare is always primary. So then whatever private insurance you have, it goes, you know, it takes care some of the 20%. So I'm going to have bills where I don't have bills, but I got enough years with the state where they guaranteed me lifetime insurance, but at some point, like Trustee Williams said, when the Affordable Care Act came in, a lot of health care policy changed. And so then I won't have that, just that private insurance. It's got to be Medicare first. So
Trust me,
they changed it on me, and I was not grandfathered. I was not grandfathered.
It changed, and I still go to those meetings with the retiree union members, and I know that the government is stepping in and changing things, and the people don't have a say. So what y'all may think is her or Miss Berry, it's not necessarily so. It depends on what the government is saying with these different articles and things and how they're changing. So, you know, it should have never been written in stone. I know, and I have that same letter here on my phone, and I've read it, and I understand. But we understand what Thompson just said, that they sent her a letter stating something. So we can get all this. I have the paperwork. I negotiated the contract. But guess what? Certain things in that contract are not binding anymore. And ain't nothing I can do about it but accept it and go on.
Yeah.
My letter said, oh, hey, Jewel, you about to make 65. So that's what it is. And so let me even give you further clarity. My mother worked for the state for 40-something years. She retired. She had free health insurance at 65, private health insurance. When the Affordable Care Act came in, I was taking care of her business. They said, send a copy of that Medicare card. I didn't send it. They said, if you don't send it, she won't have no insurance. So when I sent it, Medicare became primary, and then that private insurance from her employer became the smallest tiny part, and she had to pay bills, even though they had promised her and me, as a state employee, that you would not pay health insurance.
And in
They
some
changed
cases,
it.
and in some cases, Medicare will go back and penalize you because you didn't take it at 65. They can come back and penalize you for not doing it when you turn 65. Just like when Obamacare came out and he found out people didn't have coverage, they had to get coverage because you were gonna, when you file your taxes and you didn't send in that you had coverage, you were getting penalized. And that money was coming out of that refund check that you were getting. It wasn't so pretty anymore because the government steps in. So always know the government supersedes things like that.
Yeah, Mayor, yeah. Lot has been said in response to Chief Box. I'll say number one, I'm not 65. Right, I know it's coming. Y'all telling me something. Look, I'm not 65, so I'm learning that when they get 65, I guess it's some more. But I am a duty disability officer, and so I understand when it comes to the coverage. That was my education on it. But the main thing I wanted to say to those retirees and seniors that in my hand I am in possession of all y'all letters. Not only that, I did consult legal advice, and I even went out and grabbed the policy manual that we all were operating under. And Chief Box is correct. And I see Sarge Lance, he's out there. And see Dolores out there. Okay. Commissioner, she's commissioner now. But yes, there were some things here, and I won't comment too further, but I do agree with my two colleagues when it comes to speaking about what was entitled to you all. So what happened is that I got up and I made a comment to the mayor that this needs to be fixed ASAP. Because I just found out about this maybe about 2-3 days ago. So what I want to say is that as a person who is also in you all's shoes, that I don't think, it don't feel good to receive something and told that within 30 days, I don't even think it was 30 days, it wasn't even 30 days, you guys were cut off. So what I would say is, out of assurance for those who do know me and my colleagues, that this matter will be taken care, will be addressed as soon as possible, so that something like this will never happen again.
Can I ask a question? Mr. Box, were you cut off or were you informed that you were going to be cut off?
We were informed that as of November 30th, that we would be taken off.
Okay.
Okay. And and I think you said you received the letter the end of October or because you had sent me a copy. I got to see what date.
Oh.
Yeah, it was right. Okay.
And then the problem that I see is that, say, October 31st is when I got it, I think November 2nd. But anyway, the problem I see is this. If that call is made on November 30th and we're taken off, and then the board decides, you know something, we're gonna give it, we're gonna honor the contract, we're gonna honor the agreement. Will we be able to get back on? Just like anything else, once you on, then the rules change, and they say, well, wait a minute, you got health issues.
Okay, I used to work in, I worked in the division where we did the exceptions to reinstate, because reinstatements were only 90 days. And we did have a department that made an exception, and we had to have proof, and all the documents had to line up in order for us to make that exception. So I know they do have a department that does go beyond the 90 days and make that exception, because if a person hasn't made their premium payment in 90 days, then they have to go to the exception to reinstate department, which I was one of the head people there. So they do make allowances, so I'll have to find out, because yours is different because you're under a group policy and not an individual coverage. You're with that group. So I'm just surprised that Blue Cross never sent a letter out advising you all to go on Medicare at some point. I don't understand that.
Ms. Scott, you have something?
Under a group plan. They're under an umbrella. So that retiree group was assigned a group number. And usually Blue Cross, from that particular group, will send out a letter advising that, you know, these people are turning 65, or you're turning 65, you need to get on Medicare, and here are some supplement options available to you. That we're trying to what, sir? Mm-hmm. Well, right, but what I'm saying is Blue Cross normally in their database, when they see somebody turning 65, they send a letter out. If you're a couple and you have a child and your child is turning 26, they let you know they can no longer keep that child. That child got to get their own policy. So we normally send those types of things out ahead of time, regardless of what, they don't know anything about what this village sent you all. They're in the business to cover you, as long as they getting them payments. That's all that's their biggest concern, is that they're getting the payment.
Well,
I can't hear you. What? You said what, ma'am?
I said, once they get that payment, where's the help?
Well, who gets the help? The help from who? Blue Cross gets the payment?
It's Vivian.
I don't know what you're
The letter is stating for the person to take this letter to Social Security. Now, I don't understand that.
Mayor,
You will need to take this letter to Social Security to assist with your Medicare coverage.
Mayor, I wanted to make a statement. I just really think, because I had spoke to Ms. Berry last week, and I sent the email over to Ms. Scott and them. I just really think that we should just put together a special meeting and go into executive session and address this with the board sometime very soon before the cutoff day. That's what I'm recommending. And if that's what the board wants, that's something we could do. We could do as soon as possible, next week or so. What is today? So hopefully before Thanksgiving, is to give someone whatever decision the board agrees on, Tuesday. So if next Tuesday we could come have a special meeting just for executive session. Okay, so Mayor said we can do that. So next Tuesday we'll go into executive session and discuss this one issue, and then we'll be able to bring that information back. I think that'd be great.
Okay. All right, we got some couple more public comments. We got Mary Trust. And then got Jacqueline Wright.
Okay. My name is Mary, what he's just said, but I'm from the Community Block Club of University Park, and we are 501c3, and what we do is we try to motivate and cultivate the people here in University Park with some leisure things, some happy things, and some things that are good for the village. So now for Christmas, for the holiday, we're having a ornament exchange. It means that you buy an ornament, wrap it, and bring it to the function, and we exchange the ornaments. We will have, and we ask that you bring something to share in the form of food, no liquor. It will be held at the library in University Park. It's a good ornament. Make the ornament. You can exchange it for this. It's a fun thing to do. So you might want to participate. And it also complements our contest where we have outdoor Christmas decorations. And those are awarded to the homes that are chosen, or the decoration that are chosen. And the first prize is $100, second prize is $75, and the third prize is $50. Now, if you are elected official, you cannot participate. Or if you have won before. If you won before. And we don't make the choice. We've got a select group of people who does this. And they show up on the 4th, or the first week in January, to receive their money. And you must come to receive your money. But it's a fun thing. So we'd like for you to come out. I gave it to a copy to the village manager. She'll post that. This one is December the 7th, and it'll be held at the library in University Park. It starts at 10:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and it ends at 12:30 p.m. The ornament exchange. Okay? Sure. Oh, you want me to give you want me to give her another copy? Okay. Okay, sure. I certainly will. And everyone is invited, but you just need to. You don't have to have money, you just have to have the ornament. Wrap it, because when I pull this ornament, I don't want to know what it looks like until I get the ornament. Okay? And then bring some form of food to share. Have a good night, people.
Thank you, Ms. Mary. Good night. Always delightful. Good positive. Willie Hollins. You gone. Oh, no, come on, brother. You signed your man for puppy.
Oh, I ain't meant to say that, but anyway, it's a blessing to be here. I've been out in this community for about 35 years, and I respect everybody in here, but I'm just observing. I'm sorry, I mean, I thought I had to sign to get in. I'm sorry. God bless you.
It's good to see you participate.
Yes, sir, and I'm out here with the community. I did all the Cremoni High School game. I'm sorry, no youth fan, but we do got to do something for the youth. They ain't got nothing to do. None of them going to church or anything. They barely playing football and basketball like we used to do every day. So we got to find something for the youth to do out here. All right?
Appreciate it. Yes,
All right, thank you.
Jackie Wright. Come on, Ms. Wright. How you? All right, we appreciate you.
First of all, good evening. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I have not been a resident here for a long time, but I'm a resident currently. You can't hear me? I'm going to take this off. I'm actually a resident at the Maple Leaf Apartments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, it's a big piece of the land, and it's kind of an eyesore, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know what's in the works for it. Yes, right on this main road. It takes a lot of space on this main road. I'm just worried about, 759 Burr Oak 3L. I'm a single mom of 3. I have a 22-year-old. I have a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old, which 2 are special needs. They're in a wheelchair. They have neurological deformities. Regardless, I'm quiet. I mind my business, but I am vocal when I need to be. I believe everybody has a job and everybody should do it. I don't know what else is going on in there as far as people with housing and government assistance. I have a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. I pay $1,400. I'm not complaining. I would love a balcony, but it's hard out here for, a pimp and me too. I'm just saying all that to say, I don't like the way I'm being treated. I could speak for everybody, but I'm just worried about myself, to be honest. Yes. Her name is Alicia. I drop some names because I'm very direct. And if I'm paying $1,400 a month, I should have hot water. I should have a working elevator. The elevator is not working more than it is working. I do know, yes, I'm getting to that. I don't have mice, but I did see mice in the lobby, dead for days. And going in there, they so thirsty for money. Thirsty. Absolutely. Thirsty for money, and that's fine. I don't mind paying. I agreed. We both signed on the line, whatever my situation is. But if I'm paying for something, I would like to get it. Absolutely, especially if it affects code violation. I'm quiet, but I like to read, I like to ask questions, and I like to advocate for my children that can't speak for themselves. Going in there, they knew I had 2 special needs kids in wheelchairs, both. An 8-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter. That elevator is broke more times than not. They don't have a certificate displayed. It's only one elevator. I understand it's an old building, I get it. But I think it's time for some renovations or something. 75, and it's the building with the main offices, and that's the cleanest building because, absolutely, it's the cleanest building because the office is in there. I have mild OCD, and I have children with immunity issues. So I'm very clean. I believe cleanliness is next to godliness, and I know where my health comes from. I do have them here and there. Pest controls come in, but you have to be put on the list. I asked to be put on the list. I'm not being put on the list because it's not their priority. So I asked them, would you live like this? I don't know what the other man's name is because I would have dropped his name first. Mr. Tesla. You know what I'm saying? However you get your money, get out how you live. I do what I'm supposed to do. But I have a 22-year-old chronic asthmatic daughter that has to bring my children down the stairwell, one stairwell as well. Again, I understand it's the old building. She had to go to the hospital because she felt her asthma flaring up.
Miss Wright, I don't want to be rude or cut you off. I'm going to ask you to stay a few minutes after the meeting. And
okay, I just need direction and what I need to do
because they're not
listening to me.
Because our policy is the public comments is 3 minutes, and I just
okay,
don't want to be.
I
just want to be. I just want to be
those
equal
were the main
across the board.
points.
But that's a serious concern. Just hang tight for a few minutes. I think we're going to close out and let's have a discussion.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Deborah J. Stroud. Ms. Stroud. Come on, Ms. Stroud.
Good evening, everybody. I've sat through this meeting tonight. I'm hoping I get more than 3 minutes like so many other people have had. I'm just asking for that indulgence.
Start the clock, Ms. Neva.
Thank you. Thank you.
I said start it.
Imagine waking up one morning with shortness of breath, followed by chest pain, and luckily you are transported to the hospital, but later you discover you had a stroke from natural causes. At the hospital, every attempt is made to restore the quality of life that you are accustomed to. But you quickly remember that your health care insurance that you retired with has been terminated. This is after you served your employer anywhere from 20 to over 30 years of your life. The purpose of this memo, in support to the former Village of Park Forest South, University Park employees that have unconditionally satisfied their years of service, which resulted in their receiving the health care benefits earned. Why would the village breach an employee's health and wellness benefit, which affects their overall quality of life? The health care insurance included in their retirement package should not be breached. Now, as employee, let me backtrack. First off, let me say thank you, Trustee Williams, for giving us the insight on Blue Cross Blue Shield. Thank you, Trustee Thompson, for letting us know also your situation with your employer. But on October 31st, the letter I received dated from, the letter dated October 31st from Village Manager Scott informed me also that my University Park healthcare insurance would be terminated on November 30th. Although the letter had been meter stamped on November 4th, I too did not receive it until November 7th, as Gregory Box had mentioned. So we didn't even get a 30-day notice advising us of this. I don't know who all the other retirees are that received a letter any more than I know when they received their letters. As employees, we serve the residents of this community with pride, respect, and integrity. Due to our commitments, whatever position and/or title we held, residents were assured that their health, safety, and welfare was our top priority. And as you see in the audience, we have so many police department personnel. That is something that, between police and fire, they definitely put their lives on the line, definitely. Visually, retirees present here tonight represent those who cannot be present tonight. Since we are no longer represented by unions such as AFSCME, FOP, and IAFF, we can't file a grievance for parity, thereby making us whole. As retirees, we were never provided written documentation from the village of any and all applicable village ordinance sections, subsections, paragraphs, or etc.
Ms. Debbie, you've never hit that mark. I'm sorry, but I gotta cut you at the 3 minutes. I understand the seriousness of this, and we will address this. I think that we got a good handle on what needs to be done. I think we do. I think we really do. Not meaning to cut you off, but I got to stick to the rules. I'm sorry.
Which rules, sir?
The general public comment rules of 3 minutes for general public comments.
Mayor. Okay.
Go ahead.
Because I've listened to so many comments from everybody tonight who were not even on the list for general public.
Ms. Stroud, I can include your comment in the minutes if you would like.
Thank you.
Okay.
Everyone have a good evening and happy, safe Thanksgiving.
All right. May I have a motion, please? All in favor? Opposed? None. Yeah, come on, Mr.